So I thought to myself, I could do with tidying stuff up on this Saturday afternoon. I've got 2 breather pipes, sit behind the starter, just kind of wrangles from the bottom of the engine at the front up to the top. That'd be easy to change. I've got some O-rings as well. These little O-rings here, they go on the where the sort of dipstick housing goes. Simple enough. Thought maybe I'd tidy things up at the same time. Maybe put an oil cooler on. That'd be a good idea, yeah. I like that idea. And then this happened. I don't know if Mrs. Piggy watches this, but if you do, this is the reason why, 1, it's Saturday afternoon and I'm not going to be until dinner. 2, I need to borrow your car on Monday. So the idea was, the one breather pipe goes down through there, and the one sits behind there. I was going to take this section off, clean it up, put the pipes on, fixing that oil leak there, which is our main oil leak. Our other oil leak is a drive shaft seal. I'll have to do that another time. And I thought to myself, oh, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll clean up a couple of parts. Starter motor's rusty. Well, as you can see, we've now got inlet manifold to clean, possibly paint, engine mount, alternator, pump I should say, power steering pump, fuel filter housing and bracket to clean, paint, starter motor, and another couple of bits behind there. And this was the old pipe, broken at one end and split and cracked at the other. Oh, and vacuum pump. So it looks like I'm going to have a busy afternoon. Let's get all this cleaned up and paint it. So it's looking a bit cleaner. We end up stripping it all off. Going to do a few jobs in one go. We need to lift bring the engine forward and up a bit to get the manifold, and that'll make it much easier. So we took the alternator and the power steering off, and we took the bracket off as well, and gave that a lick of paint. I realised I'd run out of red, but I went and got a pot, thankfully. Someone opened on Sunday, and we gave it a lick of paint. Looks a little bit better. And in here we've got the torture chamber, hanging our pieces, and I've painted some silver parts as well. Some high temp paint, which is good. Hopefully that's not black paint. Oh, it is, never mind, we'll sort that out. Some other parts as well painted. So, the manifold. Basically, I was welding away for about an hour, thinking, my goodness, something's wrong. And basically assuming it was my welding, to be honest. I'm not great. It's one thing I'd love to be good at, but I'm not very good at it. Anyway, I was thinking, this is rubbish. It was spitting everywhere, it wasn't flowing, it was bubbling, it was just awful. Blowing holes, couldn't get the settings right. Anyway, I mustered on, and I had about 3 joins left. And then the boss came in, who I was borrowing the welder off at his workshop, Mickey Cadet, and he said, let's have a go. And he went, you haven't turned the gas on. And rightly so, I hadn't turned it on enough. I thought, the first bit puffed out, and I thought, oh, that's fine, the gas is on. But obviously it wasn't on. So then I basically ground some back, and had another go, and went over some of the other welds, especially you can kind of see I've double welded almost, the main joins. And I've done on the inside of that as well, which I hadn't done yet. So it was about 3 joins that weren't very good, that were good, and the rest I've had to go over. But it's nice and strong, it's hole free, and it'll do the job. And you won't see it anyway down the back of the engine. The only bit you'll see is probably this bit here. But we'll clean it up now, then strip the manifold off the other one and the turbo off that, and fit this. So nothing like having the whole engine stripped down 10 days before a show and going on track, 3 days before getting some tune-up. So I don't know if you can see, but I think you can just see behind there somewhere that there is no exhaust manifold. The exhaust is taken off from about there somewhere anyway, so there's only a downpipe. No auxiliaries, just the pump. And that's it really. And here's the comparison. That's the original manifold with massive oversized downpipe and a replacement. And our little helper, who's like the dog version of Chewbacca. Right, Twiglet. So, one we're putting on, one we've taken off. I thought I'd better do a little update, I suppose. New manifold is now on. Don't look too closely at the welds. Bit of a fail there, as I think I described in the last one, where I went to borrow a very nice welder and didn't turn the gas on. and then I came back and it fouled it, so I had to cut a piece off and go back and do it again. But it is on. One end of one flange was slightly kinked up, obviously due to the heat. Haven't got money or time to go and find someone to plane it flat, so I'm hoping enough torque on the bolts it's brought it flat again. Let's hope. We've put in the temperature gauge and the pressure gauge. I saw this on a couple of cars, including Poodle on the forum, and basically it's just a brake fitting, and then that goes inside the car to a silicone hose to a gauge to give you the pressure. Liquor paint on the block, that's been now dried. We've had to take apart, which is nice and itchy, take apart the down. So the downpipe, we had to add in about 20mm in there, just because, unfortunately, I think because of having to chop a section out, because I didn't quite get it right and then weld it in again, it just moved slightly. Hopefully that's all okay now. The next step is to put in a couple of brackets on these nice flange supports here, and I also need to fill up the gearbox because the gearbox is drained, so that means putting a new drive shaft seal in, which was slightly dribbling, and get that sorted. Okay, so stage of the rebuild part 2, as in I rebuilt it so long ago and I've taken it all apart again. Dipstick housing, and it's like a breather section that all the breather pipes go into, that's in place, then a couple of O-rings at the bottom. This is a new pipe from Peugeot which goes right from the top of there right down to the bottom, an oil drain from the head, from where the cam spins, and then there's another one that's breather at the top there, that's replaced, and this one here was replaced as well, which I'd bodged up before. Again, a bit of a breather really. So that's all done, seal in there as well, there's a little seal that goes around there, so that should not leak anymore. Then I need to take a breather pipe off there and put a little breather in place. New turbo is on, same old cold housing, it's nice and polished. New turbo is in there though, nice and balanced. Couple of little fitment adjustments just down here, this pipe, because it's just moved forwards about 20mm, but that shouldn't be too much problem elsewhere. Right, let's get on with it. So, after a couple of very long hard days, it's all back together. There's just the air filter. I want to arrange something here. The air filter intake's so huge, as you can see, you have to downsize it, but also it's getting the positioning right of the air filter, which, I'll get that in a second, can't be bothered now, too tired. But turbo's looking cool. All shiny. Lovely. All shiny and polished, which is cool. Inlet's on, looking a bit too clean, I'm sure that'll get grubby. Breather system, I've reduced it down because I need to make some room here for inlet and a couple of other bits. It's all looking pretty clean. I'm going to polish up the pump a little bit, and I still need another cover here because it ate itself. But it's pretty good. I've had it running, but only had the one little fault, exhaust leak, and it just behind there's a little pinhole leak. And I don't know if that's the gasket or what, or whether it's the weld. So I'm going to get a torch down there tomorrow, sort that out. But it's all well. The gauges are working, but they're not quite fitted in. And there's our EMP gauge, well, exhaust manifold pressure gauge. We'll just start it up, and sounds rather different, I've got to admit. And then you'll see EMP gauge. That's the pressure at the manifold. Turbo boosting it up. And the exhaust note is rather different. Exhaust note sounds amazing. A little offbeat now because of the way the manifold's made. Right, we'll take it for a drive.